On Saturday, number 4 Alabama takes on Ryan Clark's number 2 ranked Tigers. You know a little something about LSU. Both LSU and Bama are currently in the top 4 of the initial rankings, but Bama is favored by 6.5 points this weekend. Ryan, I see what's happening here. We need the camera on you for that.
Just throwing up my L's right now.
Oh yeah, go Tigers.
Just throwing up my L's right now.
Okay.
You know, I don't.
Who wins?
Clearly, you guys.
Clearly?
Clearly, you guys didn't bring me on here for my expert analysis, because we all know what I'm going to say. The Tigers were marched down to Tuscaloosa. Brandon Harris, Malachi Dupree, those 2 guys will be the reason LSU wins this game. Look at the last 2 games. You go to Florida. Florida's playing good defense. They're making Leonard earn his yards. He still rushes for 180.
He did.
Brandon Harris makes big throws. Western Kentucky, it's a sloppy game. It's storming. The stands aren't even full, which is rare at LSU. And he finds ways to complete passes in the slots. Those were the 2 games Brandon needed headed into Tuscaloosa. Listen, we know their strength is their front. They're tough to run at. Nick Chubb and Georgia were probably the best running back O-line combination Alabama's faced until this week when they faced LSU and Leonard Fournette. It's hard to run right downhill at them. Nick Chubb, I think, finished with about 150, but he had one really long run, which Leonard is capable of breaking. We've seen him do it many times. But he's also capable of wearing college football defenses down. And I think he'll do that. I believe the play-action pass will be big. And this Alabama team isn't the Alabama teams we've seen in recent years. I don't think this team's better than last year's team. I don't believe in the quarterback. I think Henry's a good running back. I really like Drake as a changeup. The freshman wide receiver can really play. I think top to bottom, though, LSU is a more talented team than Alabama.
Okay, so give us some score. Give us some idea what you think.
I'm thinking 24-20 LSU.
24-20.
And Skip, check the stats. We win in Tuscaloosa. Now, they win in Baton Rouge a lot, too. But this has been tilted toward the visiting team in this rivalry.
You've won 6-3 there sometimes, too. But whatever.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Stephen A.
With all due respect, I don't care what Ryan Clark says, and it's not just because I know that he was going to put up the L's for LSU. It's because the man that he relies upon most, which is Fournette, is not going to be able to do against Alabama what he has done against everybody else. I know he's a stud. I know he's big time. I know he is pretty much the face of that offense. I get all of that. Malachi Dupree is nothing to joke about, along with Brandon Harris. But I think the very thing that Ryan Clark is pointing to about those 2, Harris hooking up with Dupree in order to get the job done, is exactly what I don't believe is going to happen. I think Alabama is going to force LSU to have to throw the football in order to beat them. I think a gentleman by the name of Eddie Jackson in that secondary with Alabama, who's got 5 interceptions on the year, is going to do a little something against Harris this Saturday. I'm predicting that it's going to be at least 2 picks, probably by Eddie Jackson. Of course, Fitzpatrick is there. You can't ignore what he's going to do. Ragland is leading those boys in tackles. I'm looking at Alabama's defense neutralizing the run, forcing LSU to pass the football, and that's going to turn it into a Brandon Harris, Malachi Dupree kind of deal. I do not believe they're going to be successful. I also believe that Derrick Henry's going to have a big game. I think his game is going to be just as, if not even more effective than Fournette in this particular game, and I think ultimately Alabama walks. It's going to be tight. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to disrespect Les Miles and LSU and act like it's not going to be competitive, but I'm picking Alabama to win this game 24-20. I think they're going to beat LSU
identical
in Tuscaloosa.
Scores, just different outcomes.
LSU know he doesn't really believe it, Skip.
Yeah, neither do you.
He doesn't believe it.
Point, then you don't really believe it either.
I write down right there.
24-20?
I reversed Ryan's score also. I do believe Alabama at home will win this game, and it's going to come down to this. We always have Les Miles come in and sit in that chair just before the season starts.
And Saban.
And Saban. But listen, as you well know, because you're around that program, Les loves this young man, Leonard Fournette, on and off the field. Yes. Just really believes in him. And this is a Heisman game. And listen, Les Miles would like nothing more than to win the game and to win the Heisman for this young man.
I agree with that.
Who will be a pro football player. We're pretty sure pretty quickly. He's
Yes.
going to be a big pro football player. I don't know what he's going to do next year. We'll see how that all shakes out. But I want to see him win this year's Heisman now. And I've told you before, I worry about him in these games, in the game at Ole Miss, because I don't think you can just line up and run it down their throat. As you say, it's just not, I don't care how great he is, it's too much to ask of him. So will Les's pride get in the way? I know he doesn't call the plays, but he'll dictate the overall scheme of things. So will they keep hammering away with Leonard, hoping to wear that defense down? Remember, that defense has given up 78 yards rushing a game, and he's averaging 193 as Leonard Fournette. Something has to give in there. Can he get 100? Can he get 105? Because he's going to need to for them to win this game, to me.
He'll rush for over 125 yards. And you spoke about Henry. He's 6'4", 6'3". They're going to get him running sideways, and Beckwith and Jamal Adams
they
and
got
Gotcha.
speed.
Yeah, that won't be the problem.
He's a
that
straight
won't,
up runner.
Yeah, that won't be
Yeah.
the issue. But Leonard Fournette rushes for over 125 yards, and we can talk about it when I come back next week.
Sounds
And
good.
All right.
When I have my LSU jersey on.
But you did say that Brandon Harris and Malachi Dupree would be the reason. You didn't say Leonard Fournette. I'm not trying to imply that a stud like Leonard Fournette is going to be shut down and he ain't going to rush for anything. He's going to get his, but it's going to come down to Brandon Harris and Malachi Dupree having to come through. And I don't believe they're going to be able to do it against that Alabama secondary.
I cannot wait.
Time.
3 for 3 on 20 for 20 scores, just different outcomes. Obviously, you have your Tigers. We'll see you next week. That one's at 8 in Tuscaloosa. Thanks for joining us, Ryan. Book it, says Freddie Rose.